Hello, welcome to part 3 of introducing this little guy, Bartholomew, my brain gremlin. I just want to very quickly talk about where the idea came from and what he's supposed to represent. So I've had this longing for ages and ages, this kind of creative yearning to make little characters, and I kept having this vision of a group of little characters sitting having like a night tea party in a forest, and I couldn't really justify making it to myself because it was so different from my real work. And I think, that's a struggle a lot of the time when you're a multi-passionate creative. You have an idea and it's so exciting, but it will take you slightly off course. And so even though I do like model making, recently they've been inspired by real wildlife, not by imaginary creatures. So I couldn't justify it to myself. And then I was watching a lot of Michel Gondry's films. I should have said this in the earlier video, but whatever. Like The Science of Sleep and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I started to have this desire to create almost like a fantasy world that represented what's happening in my head all the time, but bring it into my studio, because I spend so much time in my studio by myself. I do run group sessions, by the way. I'm not always on my own. If you're interested in the Creative Constellation, every month on Patreon we have an hour's group creativity coaching and an hour of creative co-working. But I spend a lot of time just talking to myself, and I think when you're a neurodivergent creative, there is often this experience of an abundance of stuff happening inside you. There's so many interests, so many things you want to talk about, so many ideas, so many slightly conflicting parts of your personality, and you just can never really work out how to articulate all of that in a logical way to the outside world. And that led to this idea, well, wouldn't it be interesting to make little characters that represent these different aspects of my ADHD creative brain? So he represents my inner critic, but not the really dark evil inner critic, because that's just too dark and I don't want to bring that into the world and make other people look at it. More like the cheeky, constant nagging doubts and that little voice that's popping in and telling you you're not good enough at this, or you don't know enough, or didn't you just start that a few months ago and give up on it? That inner critic. So that's what he is. And then there are also other characters that represent my impulsivity, and there's one that represents my creative inner wisdom and kindness. And yeah, I can't wait to introduce them to you bit by bit over the coming few months and weeks. But that's why I made him, because I wanted someone to talk to who wasn't me, but he is kind of me. So there you go.